Jordan Peele burst onto the scene with a force, especially coming out of the world of comedy with Key and Peele. Still one of the greatest things ever. Key and Peele is just simply one of the greatest things ever. And there is a high price I would pay for the two of them just to get back together for one 90-minute television special.
Oh, man.
I would give anything to see that happen, right? Then he burst on the scene suddenly as a horror director with Get Out. And it was remarkable. And he's been one of the most predominant names in the business since. Well, somebody asked him a few years ago, hey, would you ever do a Marvel movie, a comic book movie? And he basically kind of poo-pooed the idea. He says, oh, listen, I really appreciate that stuff, but I'm not a comic book geek, and I think I just want to do original things, and kind of downplayed it. Well, there have been whispers and rumors that maybe we could see a Jordan Peele maybe do like a Marvel film at some point. Haven't heard much. Now, recently, Daniel RPK, right many times, wrong sometimes on his stuff, but Daniel RPK reported that, let's take a look at this. From Daniel RPK, he wrote, Marvel Studios reportedly wants Jordan Peele to direct an MCU film. Okay. File that one under rumor mill. And again, we hear 20 of these, and usually 1 out of 20 turns out to be true and real, all that kind of stuff. But as we look at this social media post, this isn't the original post. This is a retweet. And as we scroll up, the people that retweeted it was Jordan Peele's company, Monkey Paw Productions. Now, does this mean officially confirmed that Jordan Peele is going to be directing a Marvel film? No. As Jonathan and I were talking, before the show starts today about it, even Jonathan mentioned, I mean, it could just be them trolling the whole thing. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it may not mean anything at all. I mean, Monkey Paw doesn't, include the words, we can officially confirm this.
Right.
But it's enough that I would say you're not crazy if you think, oh yeah, Jordan Peele is now directing a Marvel film. We can't say it's official. We can't say it's confirmed. We can't say this with certainty. But you're not crazy if you look at it and think, oh yeah, Jordan Peele is going to be directing a Marvel film. That brings up a couple of questions. One, is Jordan Peele a good fit for the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
And when is Blade scheduled to release?
And when is his Blade movie coming out? No, well, or really more thing, what movie would it be?
Yeah.
Right? What movie would it be? All right. I'm going to say the unpopular thing first. With me, I'm as Kevin Feige once told me, a good storyteller is a good storyteller. You don't need to go and just get people who already have action adventure backgrounds. You don't need to have that. A good storyteller will be able to step in and tell any story well. But I must confess, my insane adoration of Jordan Peele, the director, has waned in the last few years. It has. Because as great as Get Out was, I was not a fan of Us. I straight up, when I first watched it and reviewed it, I'm like, it's a step down from Get Out, but it's still okay. You know what? No, it's not okay. It's not a good movie.
The first half is.
First half is pretty good, but then you realize this is what this all was.
Yeah,
and the way they executed it, I'm like, what? And then they did Nope, and I was so excited for Nope. Sort of the Keke Palmer in it, and listen, I went into that with a lot of hope, and I came out going, really? I didn't think it was god awful or anything like that, but I wasn't a big fan of it.
It didn't amount to much.
No, didn't amount to much. Now, I'm not going to hold him responsible for him because he didn't write or direct the film. He was a producer on it and stuff like that. But I do have to say I've become less enamored with Jordan Peele, but still interested because he's Jordan Peele, right? Still interested. That being said, what could I see somebody with his style, his genre preferences, what could I see him do? Listen, I know the stereotypical thing for everybody is going to be to jump up and say Blade, but you're not wrong.
Right.
Stylistically, genre preference, everything that if Jordan Peele is indeed directing a Marvel movie, and we know they've been trying for years to get a Blade film together, and we know that what he really loves, despite the fact that he's freaking hilarious, that he really loves directing horror. Blade. I mean, now maybe you could make an argument that, oh, no, they're finally going to get around to doing a Ghost Rider. That wouldn't be a crazy theory either, doing something like a Ghost Rider, doing something. Hell, we already know who's doing it now, but if you had asked me a few months ago, he wouldn't have been a bad name to do a body horror Clayface movie.
Yeah.
But, that one's already being done. So, I mean, as much as I don't like to go with what the stereotypical and general idea, populist idea would be Blade, it actually does line up. So if this is true, and again, his own production company is retweeting it out, could be a troll, but for the sake of the discussion, if this is true, I would put my $5 on it being Blade. I don't know, Rob, you hear about this. What would you think about Jordan Peele directing a Marvel film? What do you think of the chances of this being legitimate? And which film do you think it could end up being?
Like you, I was a huge fan of Get Out. I mean, I thought it was terrific. And one of the interesting things about what I loved about Key and Peele was how smart their sketches were. Like how they got into their sensibilities were really, I thought, incredible and really inventive and really funny. And their performances of those sketches were great. That's why I was so disappointed by Us and Nope. I saw something, he was doing something really interesting with Get Out, and I expected his films to get more and more sophisticated. And I thought Us was a huge misfire to me. I'm like, wow. And I was really disappointed. And Nope, like you said, it was fine, but really, it didn't really have much to say. I mean, at the end of the day, there was, which I thought was odd. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't bring the noise again. And I think Blade would be the obvious
100%. Listen,
choice.
Get Out was not a fluke. I mean, that was you could see his hand in it. Absolutely.
I'm a fan. I want to see the man succeed. Now, Blade would be the obvious choice. He probably could come up. They needed a new take on it anyway, and they need an auteur. Part of the reason I think that phases 4, 5, and 6 were a little lackluster was the direction. Not all the directors, but unlike the first 3 phases, they had a lot of really interesting directors that they came in who were allowed to make films in their own kind of style. I have something else. This is sort of out of left field. We know that post Secret Wars, they want to get into the X-Men. We know they're making an X-Men movie. One of the things that X-Men gives us are very strong female characters, and specifically one female character who's also black, which is Storm. And I could see he might have had, because growing up, probably he was a huge X-Men fan. And I'll bet I could see him.
That's a great pick.
Having a great, yeah. I mean, because the great thing about the MCU is Storm is from Africa. You've already got Wakanda set up there.
And in the comics now, she's basically God level now.
Yeah, yeah.
Comics.
And it would be, to do a story of Storm's backstory, I think that from the time she's a little girl and watching her grow older and become the Storm we have to see, and then see her join the X-Men, because she wasn't an initial, she was Chris Claremont era, and I could see him doing that. I would love to see Jordan Peele make a Storm movie. Now I have no knowledge of this at all. I have no clue what they're going to do with the X-Men, except Magneto.
Well, we don't even know what they're doing with the X-Men after Secret Wars.
Right. I have no idea what they're doing with the X-Men after Secret Wars.
Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? A report, unconfirmed report going around that, hey, maybe Marvel's looking at Jordan Peele, but then Jordan Peele's own production company retweets it. What would you think about Jordan Peele taking over a Marvel property? And if it's true, and if he does, which do you think would be a nice match for him to do? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.